pledge allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let the record show all members are present. Is the phone on too, Melvin?
No, sorry.
Can I get a motion to approve the consent agenda?
We'll move. I'll second it.
Okay. Supervisor Shea. Control second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
You are currently the only person in this conference.
And the next up is, and I apologize, you're not Amber Moore, you said you're,
Serena Riceguard.
okay, Serena Riceguard. Serena Riceguard and Avoca Main Street discussion and or decision to approve funding request in the amount of $3,000. Did you guys see the letter in your packet? Okay. You want to go ahead, Serena?
Sure. Thanks for giving me a few moments to talk about the city of Avoca today and what Avoca Main Street's doing. Amber Moore, our director, her parents were involved in a really serious car accident over the weekend, so she is with them in the hospital. So I'm filling in for her today. Normally you would see me from the Avoca Public Library, but I've been a member with Avoca Main Street since its inception in 2014. We keep carrying on with our 3 blocks of downtown Main Street. We've appreciated the support that you guys have given us in the past years. Every dollar counts. We have just reached, I think the letter she sent out, I think you guys got this, but in 2020, we reached our $2 million of personal investments in downtown Avoca. So that's businesses that have used their own money in developing, opening a business, sustaining a business, fixing up a building. $2 million has been put in since 2014. We had a wonderful event, once in a lifetime. On May 15th was the 51521 zip code day event. We had hundreds of people come. Tens of thousands of dollars were taken into downtown Avoca that day. We had some pop-up businesses. 2 businesses that opened that day had their grand opening, and then just the different organizations and groups that sold t-shirts and stamps and postcards to celebrate that day. It was wonderful. So, you know, our city economic development is important to the entire county. The better we do, we all do better. So we appreciate the funds that you guys lend to us to keep Main Street going. And did you have any questions? I'll do my best to answer. I don't have it at the top of my head like Amber does, but I could probably tell you.
You're still gonna plan the long table this fall?
Yes, we're planning to have that. You know, we got to have it outside, I think only one of the years. Every other year it's rained and we've moved inside the Legion Hall. And then last year, of course, we did a pickup, take-home dinner. But we are planning it right there on Main Street. We'll close Main Street and have our 100 tickets for sale. It's fabulous. That's our big fun event of the year. And then, of course, we have our farmers market already started last week. So every Wednesday night from 5 to 7, we close the street in front of City Hall and the library. And last week was our first night, and we had 13 vendors. They're planning 4 more this week. So that's been a great thing to have every Wednesday night.
Are you familiar with that challenge grant?
I know a little bit about it.
Where do those funds come from?
It's through the Iowa Main Street program. So the building owners have to go through quite a process of applying. And then the $75,000 grant it's a matching fund. And then they can use it, I believe the Carroll building is the one you're talking about. We had a different one. This one's the new one, the Carroll one. And it's for exterior, it's for the facade, I think. And it's a big building in the middle of the block, right across the street from the Legion Hall. Right now, the Stepping Stones daycare is there. There's an office upstairs. The other half of the building has an insurance office, and they're moving the insurance office out to a vacant building down the block so that they can start renovation.
So, and I don't know, how many years have you guys been Main Street now?
Since 2014.
Okay, so is there a recertification or a
Well, we have to meet we get audited every year by the
Main Street?
Iowa Main Street group, the economic development part of that, does an audit. We have to turn in everything we've done for the year. We keep records of volunteer hours and dollars invested and all of that. So an annual audit is basically the process.
Well, and I believe you're the only Main Street that we have in Pot County.
Yes, right
It's
now.
not an easy process to get going and keep going, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, I was part of the group that went to Des Moines and, you know, went through that whole application process, and we had to do a big presentation. And so I've been I've been part of that since the inception. So it's been a lot of fun, and we've had volunteers come and go over the years. And it has brought a lot of people together, working together in the community that would maybe have never, come together before. So that's a community growth part of it too.
Okay. Thank you.
I'll make a motion to approve funding $3,000.
I'll second.
Motion by Schultz, second by Shea, out of gaming.
Yep.
The only thing I would ask is if you guys could possibly put this on your calendars for like around the first of the year.
During the budget process. And
Yeah.
here's why I think it went late this year is because Iowa State Main Street asked us to not ask for any investments during the pandemic.
Oh, wow.
So our organization fundraising group that I'm part of, during the pandemic, we were not allowed to go out and ask for money. And they have just lifted that like the 1st of May. Can now start going back out. But the state felt like businesses were already just struggling, organizations were struggling, so they asked us to just
Okay.
not ask for money,
Oh, perfect.
not ask for investment.
I've not heard that.
Yep,
Okay.
but I'm sure Amber will be back, we'll be back on schedule again, and I'll make sure that
Okay.
I pass that on to her.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's a perfect explanation. Okay, any other?
You've done a lot of neat stuff out there. Keep up the good work.
Thank you. I'd like to see you all come out. I know some of you have been able to attend the longest table. That's a really fun time. And stop out sometime when you're in the area for the farmer's market. You just can't believe how many people come through Little Avoca every Wednesday night for that. It's fun.
What date is the table deal?
I don't think we've set a a scheduled date yet, but it's always at the end of the market, so in September. We'll send invitations.
Do you still have a grant for the community building?
Yes, for now, but, it had criteria attached with that, and I'm not sure that all that criteria is going to be able to be met. So the status of that right now is unknown. I don't know if you guys knew this, but our new city administrator has just resigned. So he's been there a year, and he accepted a job he's a military contractor, so he's accepted another position. And he'll still be attending city meetings on a part-time basis, but we are back looking for another city administrator. So that always kind of, slows things down a little bit when you don't have somebody driving that. So we're hoping to get somebody hired really soon to keep that going.
Good. Thank you.
Yep. Okay?
Okay, any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, like sign. Hearing none, motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you. Good day.
You too.
Okay, Don Gross and/or Ryan Oxley. We haven't seen Ryan yet, have we? Was he here last
He was
time?
here the first time, yeah.
Oh, was he? Okay. Discussion and/or decision to approve and authorize board to sign board resolution 53-21 approving the selection of a firm for legal services.
Let's say about a month and a half ago, we prepared an RFP for legal services for your property buyouts. As a result, we received 3 proposals, one from Peterson Law, one from Property Acquisition Relocation Services, and one from McGinn Law Firm. Peterson had proposed $1,500 per property. Property acquisition and relocation, including subcontract work that they would have, was $2,300 in McGinn Law Firm at $3,000. I believe our budget per property is $2,000. I know the county has used Peterson Law in the past on buyouts. City of Oakland is currently using them. I think your staff is familiar with them. I would recommend that you select Peterson Law to.
I'll make a motion to
Approve Peterson's contract.
You approve the resolution.
Pardon? You're approving the resolution?
approve the resolution. Sorry. Does the Schultz,
Okay, Schultz.
does the,
Any discussion?
Yeah, Don, just a couple of real quick questions for you. Now that price that, Peterson Law Firm submitted includes everything from the offer, the original offer to the landowners.
Correct.
Purchase agreement.
Yep.
It's gonna take care of all abstracting.
Mhm.
Any and all closing costs.
Yep.
And the recording.
I don't know about the recording costs. I mean, that's gonna come out on your ledger, they're not probably gonna pay for it, but, if there are documents that have to be recorded, it'll be on the HUD closing statement as a closing cost.
So those, her costs potentially can be incurred even if we don't close. Is that correct? Because we can go right down to the day of the closing.
Theoretically, what we will do is, we will gather what information we can from the property owners as far as existing liens on the property. Whether they receive FEMA assistance already. There's really, let's just say that somebody was you were gonna purchase a property for $200,000. They may or may not have received FEMA assistance around $34,000, $35,000. So that's deducted. They're also responsible for paying their property taxes forward. So let's just say out of that sale, you're gonna net, there's proceeds of $165,000. If there's more debt than $165,000, that has to be resolved. And, if it can't be resolved, I could see a closing not happen.
But can't they also, of the day of closing, just say, we're not interested no more?
Yes, they can.
Well, if there's a purchase agreement already signed, that's pretty hard to get out of.
Yeah, and I don't think a person would sign it if they're not intending to do it.
I mean,
No.
are all 8 signed?
No, there's no purchase agreements. They've just signed, to my understanding, it's just voluntary statements.
It's a different type of purchase agreement.
No, that's pretty much a standard agreement.
Because I thought, because when we did that at 11, they had the potential to, the day of, walk away without any penalties or anything. Isn't that how it's set up with the feds?
The state and FEMA do always use that statement to back up being a part of the process, that you can walk away at any time. That's what they'll tell you time. How it would actually work at the end if they decide to stand up from a closing table and say, no, I'm not gonna do this. We just haven't had that situation happen, so I can't tell you the exact process of what it would look like, but.
Okay.
Has the appraisal that was completed on all these properties been provided to all of the property owners? So they know what their value is.
Unless they came up with an appraisal.
And we will have some that will come back and say, you know, because we've had people call into the office already and say that they feel like the appraisal part of office, so you know, you're looking at a 2019 value of appraisal, not 2021, where our real estate market has gone like this, you know, they're back here. That's the value at which they look at market value, so.
Matt, if they turn it down, what consequences are there at that point?
We move to the next.
Okay. Do they have a possibility of in the future of being bought out? Or does that go away?
I mean, they're going to the bottom of the list. I mean, we have quite a few people to go through ahead of time.
But back to the, you know, the possibility of closing, my fear is that, somebody has a mortgage and they also took a SBA assistance to buy a new home. And I don't know until we get into it. They could have bought a new home in Harlem, you know, and they may have an SBA loan of $250,000. As we go through, SBA has to be released and they will demand all the proceeds that are left over to be pay down their mortgage.
I don't know, like you said, I think there was none in 11, I don't believe. I think we got them all closed eventually.
Yeah, there was one or two that walked away from the process, but they walked away early.
Okay.
So, we didn't have anybody who, once we got to the point of closing, everybody already knew what the offers were, they already agreed to it. I mean, we're there to close, so, and it all went through, but, I mean, they are real estate transactions, and everybody who's dealt with any, you guys have all bought homes before, you know, right up to the end, that there'll always be something that causes some little bit of a panic situation, but it'll be fine, we'll make it through.
Yeah, I want that refrigerator.
You feel these 8 will go through?
Exactly, people want refrigerators out of a house, or they wanna grab a ceiling fan, or, you know, I mean, the craziest of things, but.
You feel the 8 will go through?
Yeah, I think so. I
Okay.
mean, they've stuck with it for a long time, they've been in contact quite a bit with Pam.
Okay.
Okay,
What was the total on that? Don?
1,500
Per parcel,
per person,
times 8,
correct.
12,000.
thanks.
and it was,
I used to do that very easily in my head.
it used to be, it used,
When you were 12.
No, probably when I was 35, 40.
and the contractor will be Peterson Law Firm. No other discussion, roll call?
Yeah, 1.5 times 8 is 12. Oh, sorry, Chairman Bell.
Aye.
Supervisors Wickman.
Aye.
Groby.
Aye.
Schultz.
Aye.
And Shea.
Aye.
Okay, next up, Matt Wyatt, Planning and Development, and Pam Carlstrip, Acting Director, discussion and decision to approve and authorize the board to sign resolution 5121 entitled Resolution Authorizing Forgivable Loans Agreement with Regional Water.
Guys all good? Terms are good, everything?
So what you all are doing here today is authorizing yourself when the rest of this, when Exhibit A and those pieces come in together, that you can sign it. So, this is for the $300,000 forgivable loan. We're waiting on rural water to provide us Exhibit A, which is their, detailed map and showing the benchmarks that we hope to hit on that. In the agreement, you'll see that before the loan is forgiven, they do have to provide us an engineer's report showing that we would have capacity of up to 500 homes in Potawatomi County on that line. That line will be functioning at that time, and so once they submit that to us, we will then have 15 days to review that information and then issue the forgiveness.
Where's this line going? Did we put this out of gaming or land fund, or where do we have this?
We haven't really touched it. I mean, we have about 1.6, 1.8 million in gaming and our land fund. There's sufficient funds.
Yeah, I just curious, where do you guys want it? I mean, what do you think would be
Well, I don't know,
better to gaming, you think?
is it, it's water, is it something that can potentially be used out of the rescue money?
Yeah, ARPA funds, pay for water.
Yeah, potentially, very well could be.
I guess that's
I think if we do that, we should probably reimburse to whatever fund we wanna go out of.
Right.
I'd feel just, given what we're trying to do, is economic development kind of thing, I just feel like it'd be better suited to come out of our gaming fund for now. And once we
And
replenish
the other
it.
potential is land.
The land fund is, so we, just a quick short history, the land fund created a line item so that we could do land acquisitions and do buildings like we did next door. That whole fund was created for the B-Wing when we first did it, so. It doesn't necessarily matter, I just feel like, by principle, I mean, this is, we're using public use dollars to enhance economic development, I just feel like gaming is a better source for that versus taxpayer funds, like regular taxpayer money.
Yeah, you bring up a good point though, if the rescue funds can pay for it, I mean, that's part of it. And I think if we stick Mitch on that, he'll be able to find out whether we can or we can't. And if we can, let's use federal dollars to pay for it. I'm fine with that.
And then, but the land fund originally, and I don't have, Becky's not in here, but was when the sale of all that ground down to Sire is when that was originally put, the profits of that was originally put into the land fund, I think.
Yeah, I think, so we changed it though, so when Becky Belt was here, we changed the name of the fund to something right when we did the B-Wing.
Yeah, land and building.
It seemed like Donna was even here when we changed it, but yeah, I think you're right. That when we sold that ground, we created the fund, but then we changed the title of it when,
All that
several
simply
years later.
was
But it
a
was,
transfer from gaming revenue into that fund.
yeah.
That's all that was.
All I'm saying, I just didn't want to be blended with like property taxpayers, and that's all I'm trying to
Yep, I'm
avoid,
with you.
so.
Just one other question. So you said, 500 single-family homes, is that what you said, Matt?
Correct.
How do, what's that?
Minimum, right?
Oh, what, do they have whatever, a gallon number for, is that what? how
I'm
they-
sure it is in gallons per day.
Is that what how they calculate back to that?
Yeah,
Okay,
they'll have a gallons per day formula.
okay.
Matt, does that include they talked about a tower, a water tower?
That would not be, that would lead to a future expansion.
Okay, all right.
Further north
But at this time, we're guaranteed 500,
to Pioneer Trail.
and if we
and
extend
to-
it, then they gotta do a water tower.
Yeah, that would lead to further upgrades in their infrastructure, which
Okay.
would be, could include their own wells, a treatment plant, to a tower.
Right.
Matt, Wilbur, you have any issues with this?
No, I reviewed it.
Awesome.
Do you need a motion or somebody to make a motion?
We got it, for the resolution.
I'll make the motion to approve resolution 51, 2021, titled resolution authorizing for a loan agreement with Regional Water.
Second.
Votes. Supervisor Wickman. Any other discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Chairman Belt,
Aye.
Supervisor Shea,
Aye.
Schultz,
Aye.
Groby. Aye. And Wickman.
Okay, next up, we have Dana Limerick, HR, Director HR, and Christy Everett, Election Deputy Auditor's Office.
I'm sorry. Hey Pam and Matt, thanks for all your help with that.
Discussion into, yeah.
What's your potential start?
I don't have a start date from them yet. It's gotta be completed by September 2022, so
Okay.
that's the
All right.
part that's in there.
Thanks, you guys.
Yep.
Okay. Discussion and or decision to approve job description for seasonal election clerk.
Morning. So we've had seasonal election clerks in the past, but what we're doing now is creating an official job description for these employees. And then they'll be going through payroll and getting a W-2 versus maybe going through accounts payable. So the IRS does say that if you, and they specifically call out election workers. If you have election workers that earn $600 or more, they are to get a W-2. So we do have a handful that routinely work enough hours, and if we have multiple elections in 1 year, they will absolutely hit that amount, if not go over. Especially since last year, I think we've learned that we need to get these pieces in place now before they're needed, get everyone where they need to be. So we're just making this official right now.
We're not backfilling Andrew Mo's old position, so question I would have is if we were to, move forward with this and we give these W-2s to these folks, does that include benefits? Does it change? Like it all fits within your budget setup?
Yep, because they're still seasonal, so they're not eligible for benefits. Yep.
That answers my question.
Now, if they work a certain number of quarters and earn a certain number of dollars, they may get IPERs.
Yeah, that's
But-
what I'm getting at.
Yep, they could get IPERs.
I guess I'd just ask it if we get to that point, you just give us a heads up, so we're tracking it. I mean, I'm assuming it's
Well,
gonna
the
fit your budget
payroll
anyway,
will track it. If,
Yep.
if there was if somebody worked in October, November for the city school, and then in the next quarter,
Is it by quarter?
by
If they
quarter.
make so much in a
For
quarter?
IPERs. Yeah.
Consecutive quarters. So if somebody came
consecutive.
back then
Yeah.
in May.
So it's
Well, that's-
possible, but it's
it's-
not that likely.
Yeah, I guess, I'm just asking, if it happens, just keep
Yeah.
Mitch in the loop, so Mitch lets us know, and then we just generally have a good idea what's going on, so that way
Sure.
it's not a surprise.
How many of these seasonal election clerks do you think you're gonna need?
For the city school, maybe.
Well, we were gonna get 4 or 5 of them, but they wouldn't all work. They don't like to work like every day, so there might only be like 1 or 2. But we wanna have 4 or 5 of them so that we can alternate them because they don't like to work. So, yeah, like
I
this
don't
fall.
think the city school, you might need 1, but for the primary, you might need 2 or 3, depends on how
I
the
mean, it just
primary
depends on
goes.
what we have. I mean, it's
Yeah.
say, this fall, we might use 2 just because we have possibly 4 months in a row having 4 elections, so.
And really, Christy, these people have been working for you in the past for elections. We're just now
Right.
tying them to a job description and
Right.
getting them in the system the way they
How did you pay
need to
them
be.
before, Jane?
Through accounts payable.
Yeah,
But
No.
with the COVID year,
Yeah, COVID year definitely added some complexities in there, and then payroll did have to go back and recalculate and provide them with some W-2s last year. So now we're getting it done on the front end. We're gonna be proactive instead of reactive with it. Wouldn't you agree, Chrissy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
we operated out of 2 buildings last year, so we had to, it was, I think COVID put us there.
Just so that I'm clear on the IPERS, it's gotta be so much money per quarter,
For 2 consecutive quarters.
They shouldn't hit,
for 2 consecutive.
2 or 3?
I think it's $1,000. It's not much.
they make over so much in 2 consecutive quarters, then they're eligible for IPERS.
so they're gonna probably if we get into the next general election, that's gonna be, we probably wouldn't bring in help until October, so that's your last quarter, right? October, November, December, okay.
Well, if you're getting absentees in 2 months before.
I can't, you only get them 70 days before, so
Well,
it's tail end.
70
But I
days.
won't need help for that. I probably am not gonna need anything until we
Well, we
start,
don't know, but at least we will have
but they shouldn't be then in
the
January.
help if we need it.
I can't see where we'd be 2 consecutive
No.
It could
No.
always change if,
So they're hourly, right?
Yes.
$15 an hour.
Okay.
It says in
Does the state dictate what the hourly rate is? And where did I just read that they had somebody, I think it was the auditor, ended up resigning over that deal?
oh,
They were paying.
so that was Scott County.
Was that where it was? She was paying them more.
So that was the actual precinct workers on election day. So it's
Okay.
totally different than these.
Well, I think she was
Those-
using some, other funds, like, was it hazard pay or something she was giving
Yeah.
them?
Well, no, I guess, you know.
More hours.
I'll second, okay.
Okay. Well, the only other, discussion is, those folks are then called as needed then? Is that correct?
Yeah, it'd be like, just like the seasonal workers up at Hitchcock, they bring them in the summer. Those are interns.
But they do have some seasonal though too,
Yeah.
Melvin, yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Any other discussions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, like sign. Motion passes. Discussion and decision to approve Series 2021A bond council engagement agreement with Hollers and Coons.
So moved.
Did you redo that, Mitch, or did,
Yeah, we're good to go there.
what's that?
Yeah, everything should be fine with using these guys for this.
Good. Getting, along with them pretty well, are you?
Yeah.
Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, like sign. Hearing none, motion passes. Motion, discussion and decision to approve, Series 2021B bond council engagement agreement with Hollers and Cooney, PC.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion with that? We want to use the reassigning of the funds?
No.
Next one.
No.
Oh, okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, like sign. Hearing none, motion passes.
Are you
Okay,
talking like the debt reimbursed or whatever?
yeah,
That's what the next one is.
yeah, okay. Discussion and decision to approve and authorize board to sign resolution number 52-21 entitled Resolution Declaring an Official Intent under Treasury Regulation 1.150-2 to issue debt to reimburse the county for certain original expenditures paid in connection with specified projects.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, any discussion with that?
Nope.
Chairman Bell?
Oh, I gotta go. Roll call, yes.
Yeah, Chairman Bell.
Aye.
Supervisors Wickman.
Aye.
Groby.
Aye.
Schultz.
Aye.
And Shay.
Aye.
Okay. Discussion and or decision to approve and authorize chairman to sign rural transit systems joint participation agreement with SWIPCO and approving funding request in the amount of $6,000.
So moved.
Second.
Okay. SWIPCO is, The motion by Shay, right?
Mm-hmm.
Second by Schultz. SWIPCO, like a lot of the people that come in front of us, is considered a
Well, it's a council of governments.
council of governments.
Yeah, like MAPA.
Okay.
This is for Schweda.
Which,
Okay, SWIT is part of SWIPCO right there.
well, it's
Why they have
agreements
that.
with SWIPCO.
Correct.
Yeah,
Who runs Schweda?
right. I wonder if the agreement works the same as an invoice, but whichever, they provide the service. After your email on Friday, I got more confused with
Yeah.
what they're saying, but.
Well, it's definitely, you're talking about economic development, it's
Yeah.
certainly economic development, we're getting people to jobs.
I would think so. We're
Yes.
getting them to where they need to be.
Correct.
Yeah. I think we can use that ED function maybe quite a bit if you get pretty creative, so. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, like sign.
I just wondered if,
Very good, motion passes.
whenever you give money to, well, Main Street, Avoca is probably an economic development thing too, that whenever we make a motion to make these, donations, whether we refer to that code section as economic development, 15A or something.
I agree. You know, that example that you gave us from, was that Woodbury County?
Yeah.
That had kind of that form in there. I think we could tweak that a little bit and add an economic development section in there and make these grants
And
to
I think,
nonprofits.
and I don't know what's gonna happen on our next audit, whether the auditor's gonna start writing this up for some of these donations, but I think if you,
Be a little proactive.
declare it in the motion and maybe make these agreements.
Right, I think having that form and
Just give it
having
Rob
them,
Sand, we'll be fine.
and having, what's that?
No.
No, and then having, having them submit.
Well, it's easier than going through
Submit an invoice and stuff. But we should have something in this audit real soon, right?
Yeah, I think the date that they said the audit would be done was June 30th. We're trying to have it done by June 22nd, so we can stay on schedule for our bonds.
Moody's call.
Yeah, because we won't be able to sell the bonds without the audit being done, so.
Okay.
And they were also, while we're on the state auditor, they were looking for some payment. I think I forwarded that to
Yeah.
Andrew and you guys to make some sort of payment to help their cash flow before end of the year.
I think
We'll have to
that
pay
was-
it anyway.
That's a pretty, amazing request, you know, when they provided the homestead exemption, they don't fund that fully,
No, that's the legislature does that.
that's correct, but they're part of the state.
Yeah. Yeah, no, they requested that twice and they put it at the bottom of my emails, but they finally sent us a bill for work done so far. So that's your call.
What was it? Well, no, I think,
I mean, you're gonna pay it anyway. You can pay it.
well, I think.
You budgeted for it this year, you know, otherwise you're
I
gonna be paying it
never
twice
saw how
next
much
year.
the invoice was that they
I didn't see
requested,
one either.
what they
Oh, didn't I
requested.
forward that?
Thought I did. I think it was just they're asking for, what should we do?
Oh, I thought I
I
forwarded that
said
too. Sorry.
Try to keep them
I'll send
happy,
that.
because we were wanting to try to get it done to buy the time to
Right.
do the bonding and stuff, so.
I thought I took care of that yesterday
What's, is it
or Friday.
usually close to 100,000?
A little over. What they sent us was 89,000 for work done so far.
When you have it, you budgeted for it, or does?
Well, it's board pays for it.
We budget for it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Otherwise, if you don't give them anything this year, well, you're gonna be paying them twice next year, next fiscal year.
That's fine.
Unless they get it done before the 15th of June. Crap, yesterday, last week. I'll find it and send it.
They sent an actual invoice, right?
Yeah. I thought I forwarded it to you guys.
We need to take a break until 11 o'clock, right? We can't have this, we can't start a public hearing before that. Okay.
Well, I'll go back to my PC and see if I can find that.
Sorry, we're not expecting security gate aside, we switched to new ones, and like, it just did not open, so we had some open for me.
Yeah, to
Stuck there for like 10 minutes, I gotta go.
get good security that way.
You like sitting over there anymore?
No.
You don't like
Just
Mitch?
moved us around. I want to stay closer to you.
Well, that's good.
Get a rub off, maybe.
Oh.
I need those,
Hope I don't. Yeah. No, I'm closer to the door, don't have to.
No, I gotcha.
The scene.
There's your,
This one's been,
probably walk about 30 miles. Monday morning, we were on foot, they lost.
I'm gonna go back to my desk. So does someone wanna text me when it's my turn? Cause I'm the last closed session.
yeah, I can text you.
Okay, and then, Melvin has to leave at 1.
Okay.
So if you need someone to take minutes, let me know, and I can do that too.
should be done before then.
Hopefully. Hopefully. Okay, sounds good, thank you.
No,
Sure.
no, they just
Sign
wanted-
it. You guys sign
I
up.
worked for, back in the day, because she runs the Travis group.
Are we?
Thank you.
We need to go into hey Jana, we need to go into recess until 11. Will you stop the, thank you for that.
They're handing it me.
No, I think we're, gotta be give more.
Bunch of recommendations, right? So if you thought like, yeah, it was cool, they're like.
I might need you
He's got 4 now.
by the end of the summer, by the way, on that wall.
Oh. Set up nice.
I
How long
paused
did it take
it.
you to do?
I didn't stop it, I
That
paused it.
project?
Yeah.
We still recording.
Well, it says recording, but the time elapsed has stopped.
He,
Should I just hit stop and let Melvin
Well-
restart?
No, I just leave it there. If it stops,
Yeah,
she would.
I don't know if I can end my session.
I think you have to start it, have a new one. And then
Like, that's all the issue there, like, it's 7%.
the phone is still on too.
So,
Should I turn that off?
so I went
The
to,
phone is still on. Turn that off and then restart in 15
yeah, you
minutes.
can hang up. But they're, some
What
take
are,
this
what
home
you're
and
in
get
the
2%.
For,
I think there's one more. There's 4 of them.
what are you asking? Just a minute.
Still recording.
I know.